Since iPads were first released in 2010, their advancements have taken the world by storm. There has been more than 10 versions created since then in only a 6-year time period, and they are seen throughout so many different industries such as entertainment, business, and for all intensive purposes, education. They will only become more and more integrated into schools across America, and are already set place now at Pencrest High School.
We ask you to consider the long-ago case of the California fourth grader who barely studied until his teacher essentially bribed him to succeed. That turnaround student's name was Steve Jobs. The Apple founder's most enduring legacy may well be in the classroom.
Although many disagree about how successful the iPads are, we are here to test the theory that iPads are an essential aspect to the learning processes and the educational experiences of high school, with the technological revolution being faced by the world today. In the past month, we have done intense research into the attitudes and efficiency of iPad use in the building. We took a leap into the uncharted waters of the iPad decision to get the real story behind the selection process.
We went down to Reston, Virginia, which is, they call it the Apple headquarters on the East Coast. And we went there and we saw a presentation from the people from Apple about how to integrate the use of iPads into your instruction.
The iPads were believed to be able to connect the classroom more effectively, but in some cases, this hasn't been proven true. The iPads can be found in the classrooms for various reasons. From research to project work to off-task activities, it can be found being used for almost anything. Although it has only been 3 years with the addition of the iPads, many teachers quickly established rules and regulations for the use of the iPads in the classroom. When asked, 40% of the staff believe that the classroom environment has changed for the worse with the addition of the iPads.
My policy was, and which remains, which is that the default in my classroom is that the iPads are off and away, and unless I say take out your iPad to do something, my expectation is that they're off and away.
According to an article by Search Edge Networks, the 3 largest publishers, producing 90% of all textbooks used in schools, are all partnering with Apple to sell digital versions. As students, we can recall that we were told we would have access to all of our necessary textbooks in order to have everything at the touch of a button. Driven by the confusion and the absence of said textbooks, we wanted to know what happened to those plans and what was promised.
But having the interactive capability of a textbook was just phenomenal. And we were told that that was going to be the direction most companies would take. They didn't. So a lot of textbook companies did not go in that direction. There are electronic versions of textbooks online, but not to the extent of what an iBook would look like. So that was kind of out of our control. You know, we have no control over what the book companies are doing with their products. So we were not able to pursue that to the extent that we wanted to.
Many students can be seen in the classroom with their personal laptops on their desk as a replacement for their school-provided iPad. The laptop has many advantages to the iPad, such as a wider screen, a connected and tangible keyboard, the ability to print documents, and is oftentimes much faster with processing. On the other hand, the iPad has an exterior camera which can be used for documenting notes on the board, while the laptop only has a front-facing webcam.
I think something that's awesome is that kids, as far as homework assignments, any assignment, anything that's going on in the classroom, are able to just snap a picture and, you know, they have it right there.
If many students can be seen carrying their laptops back and forth on a day-to-day basis when they're clearly much larger than the iPads, why weren't we, the students, given laptops?
I am sure that the people who were involved and who were in charge of that process, they took a look at different products. But at the time, I can tell you, the iPad was the #1 product that schools were looking at.
If you're using a laptop, it's going to take time to log in, it's going to take time to get to the website. Not that the iPad doesn't, but the iPad, when I turn it on, it's instant on and I go right to where I want to go.
It was revolutionary, truly was revolutionary years ago when we first started this process.
One major difference between the iPad and a laptop is that the iPad is a consumption tool, while the laptop can be both a consumption and production tool.
This was the way it was described to us here in the district. You know, the iPads are consumption tools, not production tools.
When asked, 67.7% of the staff stated that they believed that if it were up to them, they would replace the iPad with another piece of one-on-one technology, such as laptops. 83.1% of the staff can be found using their laptop for teaching purposes rather than their personal iPad.
So how do teachers use the iPads with their students, and are they being used effectively? Personally, we see when the iPads are used in the classroom, they are actually used with Google Classroom and connecting the whole class together through a means of technology. We also learned that, in fact, the teachers who do use them use the technology exactly the way that many hoped they would. According to our research, a majority of the staff admitted to the usage of the iPads in the classroom for educational and connection purposes, being limited to 1 or 2 days out of a 5-day school week.
I use the iPads generally in every class, every period.
The only times when I do use the iPad are when I'm absent and I can have students read an article, for example, that I might load to my web page.
All in all, it can be fully supported that with the changing of times and the technological revolution that the world is currently facing, one-on-one technology in the classroom is becoming an essential aspect of the learning process, but we may need some more time to adjust to this drastically changing environment for better integration. At the time that this decision was being made for the staff and students of Penhurst High School, the Apple iPad was most definitely the way to go. It provided everything and more that anyone could have ever imagined the students needed. With this said, it isn't believed that if the same decision was being made today, the outcome would necessarily be the same.
There's a lot of new products on the market. We'd have to look at new products on the market, but at the time we chose it, yes, I do believe it was a good choice.
Adjusting to a world full of technology is difficult, but we believe that the fight for integration is far from being over and that technology will continue to become more important in the everyday classroom. So whether you believe that the iPads were the correct choice or not, you better believe that technology is continuing to change our world each and every day, and some sort of one-on-one technology is essential for today's learning environments.
It's changed the way people teach, it's changed the way people learn. So will we ever achieve complete integration of technology into a classroom? And should we? They're the questions I ask all the time. As long as you have this device, you have answers, but you don't have a human being. And I think if we get too caught up in the technology, we're going to forget about the relationships that develop between teachers and students.